So the streets needed a body according to Unique, and that's exactly what the streets got with D-Wiz's death. Someone had to pay for killing Buck 20 in episode 1, and we knew it wasn't going to be Kanan. Now Buck was the first person he pulled a gun on, but D-Wiz was the one who caught him. He claimed the body in episode 2, but it was Kanan's emotions and feelings for Davina that no doubt played a role in him going after Buck, and we saw them again in episode 2. But what I didn't expect was Lulu to be the one to pull the trigger on D-Wiz. Wow. Now Kanan's narration did tell us in the first episode that Lulu was Rack's right hand, and if she wanted to get shit done right, then Lulu was the man to go to. Now we saw a lot more of Detective Howard, and his intentions were pretty clear in this episode. He's looking out for number one, and that's himself, because he knows that there can only be one king in the kingdom, but there's still so much more to his character. But we're going to dissect it even more in this review and recap for Power Book 3 Raising Kanan episode 2. But if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 related over the coming months. And remember to drop your comments down below on your thoughts on the episodes, which I will pop up in my video for later today. But let's get into this review and recap. And episode 2 kicked off with Kanan looking up at the stars, pretty much how episode 1 ended with Rack teaching Kanan about Orion the Hunter, and Kanan said that every noise or every action had an opposite reaction, and that's exactly what happened. Kanan and D-Wiz's actions had an opposite reaction, and that was D-Wiz's death. Everything around this episode was mostly leading up to him being killed, but it was Rack teaching Kanan to keep his eyes wide open because she knew shit would be hot, because it's only been a couple of days since Buck had been dropped. Now Kanan ain't scared, but Rack is, because she knows how this shit works. It's an eye for an eye, because Buck's boys will keep on coming until they find out who took Buck, and then they're going to figure out how to kill the guy that killed Buck. Now what we thought was going to be another drive-by shootout just ended up being a warning call to Kanan, and Raquel telling Kanan that you pull the trigger, then you in it, and there's no going back now. And this is just the beginning for Kanan. For those who have seen a few of my Kanan videos will know that I've mentioned that Raquel will have Scrappy teaching Kanan the inner workings of the business, not because Scrappy wants to, because for now he's babysitting, but this is how Kanan will start to learn about the business. Kanan's eager to hustle, he wants to get out on the streets, on the corners, but Raquel says this is how DEFCON got her started in the business, not to necessarily see if she can handle shit, but if she knows how to listen and follow. And now we're starting to hear a little more about DEFCON, and I don't think it's the last time we've heard of Kanan's father either, but here's Davina fighting at school, fighting over Buck because he'd been with another girl the night before he was killed, and damn, Davina can throw a punch. She's a character who could take a real dark turn after the death of Buck and being kicked out of school for a while, because we know what happens to kids that ain't in school, and she could well find her way onto the streets real quick with Unique. Now Kanan's there for her, and he was there for her later on in the episode as well when she questions him about Buck, because the streets talk and people are gonna talk, but Kanan is someone that's just head over heels for Davina, and I think throughout the next few episodes we'll see even more, and he's definitely just setting him up for a big lesson with love. But D-Wiz claims to kill a Buck. Now we've been questioning whether it was actually D-Wiz or Kanan who got the kill in the first episode, and D-Wiz said Kanan's all good because he knows I'm the one that put Buck down. We knew at that moment D-Wiz's time was up. We knew it was up anyway because there had to be a sacrifice, and that's exactly what Unique told Rack. Raquel and Unique meet again, and Unique tells Raquel that look, I can only control what I can control because there's still a lot of talk about Buck 20 on the streets. Unique called his people off, he said he'll dead the bounty, and to be fair to him, he kept to his word. But the problem is Buck's folks are angry, and they have the God-given right to hit the fuck back, and I completely agree. Kanan's actions were rash based on emotion, and no doubt he had Davina at the back of his mind too when he made that decision, regardless of whether it was D-Wiz who actually killed Buck. And as Unique said to Raquel, she knows what happens next. She knows more than anyone the streets, and she knows that the streets need a body, and we knew there had to be a sacrifice. It wasn't going to be Kanan, so the only logical choice was D-Wiz. Now Raquel, Lulu and Marvin meet to talk business, and they have two problems. Unique now has all their spots, and Kanan is still their mark, and they need to do something about both. Lulu tells them that it was the right call, and they have to give up those corners for Kanan because right now they have to just keep on fighting one battle at a time. But the problem with Kanan was he was still going to be there. He's still the mark for Buck's boys until something was done, and we're going to come to that in just a moment. But let's talk about Marvin. Now Marvin in this episode showed everybody why he's clearly going to be a fan favorite, because he's got all the personality, he's funny, he's aggressive, and he's going to be someone who I think a lot of Power fans will warm to, and someone who Kanan will take a lot of traits from as well. But Marvin is someone who's still a little distant with Jukebox. He doesn't seem to connect with her, and I think we saw it in this scene here where he picked Kanan up. There just doesn't seem to be that same connection with Jukebox, and their relationship, it seems a little distant. I think we'll see it over the course of the season and the seasons to come, especially when he finds out about Nicole. It'll make their relationship a whole lot worse between Juke and Marvin. Now this is one character that I definitely wanted to see more of, and that was Detective Howard. You motherfuckers must be really confused about who I am or who the fuck you are, and he just announced himself in this episode. Now Burke, his partner, is someone who's going to be straight and by the book. She's a new detective and she wants to make a mark, but Howard, well, he's someone, let's just say, who wants to do what's best for himself. and he wants to do what's best for the streets too. Now he goes to meet Unique and tells him that he can't have any more bodies drop in here, but more importantly telling him that we both know that the worst thing ever to happen to Southside was Raquel Thomas taking over from High Post, because she's someone who doesn't care for rules or just doesn't give a shit about them. Now there can only be one king who rules the kingdom, one code, one crew, and as long as there's no more bodies, then Howard said he's going to make sure that there's only one man sitting on the throne, and that's Unique. Now I've mentioned a few times that Detective Howard is probably someone who seemed as if he's going to cause trouble for Raquel, and he sure is going to be making life difficult for her to do business, but the question still remains over Detective Howard and that special, cold, dark heart that he holds for Raquel. One more thing we did find out in this episode was that Detective Howard knew High Post too, which is not much of a surprise considering he's from the streets too, but how this all connects between him and Raquel, that question still remains. But this is what I want to talk about. Let's talk about Lulu and that kill, because as Kanan told us in the last episode, you need something done, Uncle Lulu will get it done, and he'll get it done right, and he got that shit done. I'm sure we could all see it coming the moment he gave money to D-Wiz to go and enjoy himself, because this was going to be his last day on Earth. Now Raquel told Lulu that it's time to get his Reggie Jackson on, and this is the code that Raquel and Lulu speak of that Kanan's narration told us in the last episode, and we may not understand what they're saying, but their actions will tell us what they mean. Now this scene also showed us, like last week, that Raquel and Lulu keep Marvin out the loop when it comes to some situations, because some shit you just need to get done right, and when you need to get shit done right, you tell Uncle Lulu, not Uncle Marvin. So he spots D-Wiz on the road and tells him that they're going to a party and Kanan's going to meet them there, with Jukebox watching D-Wiz get into her uncle's car. Now Lulu gives D-Wiz a time of his life in this episode, and Lulu is someone who I said I wanted to see more of. I wanted to see what he could do in my last video, and shit, we saw it, but not before we saw a little remorse in his eyes. He clearly didn't want to do this. This is why throughout the episode we saw him keeping D-Wiz happy. He gave him the time of his life. Now Lulu didn't want to do this, but he knew it was the right call. He knew he had to get shit done, and ultimately he knew it was either D-Wiz or Kanan, and unfortunately for D-Wiz, it had to be him. Now I have to say, I knew that D-Wiz would be the one who'd be sacrificed, but what I didn't think would happen was Lulu to be the man to kill him, and he really is the man to get shit done, and get shit done the right way. Home run is the code word for him getting the job done and getting the kill as he found Raquel, and now the question is, how is Kanan going to take the death from one of his crew members? Now elsewhere throughout the episode, we saw Jukebox, who showed us why she's a hustler. The hustler was born in Juke, and I think her watching D-Wiz get into the car with Lulu and finding out later that he's dead, she'll put two and two together, and let's see if she tells Kanan what went down and how Kanan reacts to finding out that Lulu was the one who killed D-Wiz. But that was episode 2, which did a full circle again, with Kanan back in bed staring at the stars, and another very good episode in my opinion, and something I wanted to see more of, which was Lulu, Marvin and Detective Howard, which we did. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did not expect Lulu to be the one to kill D-Wiz, and now it's going to be all the fallout from his death. How is Kanan going to handle the death of D-Wiz? Drop me all your comments down below. As usual, I'll be back with my second video later today in the evening where I pop up your guys' comments and discuss them all. So drop all your thoughts and comments down below on the episode and Lulu killing D-Wiz. Let me know what you thought about Lulu killing D-Wiz as well. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.